The Google Pixel 4a leaks keep on coming. This time we've got just an entire camera review. This is from the same account that has been posting hands-on videos and other videos of the Pixel 4a. This account, which apparently originates from Cuba, is called Technolike. Link will be in the description. Published some camera samples, basically a camera review of the unit that they have, which is probably a pre-production or prototype unit. So maybe not the finished article in terms of the phone, but it will give us a very good idea of what we're getting. XDA developers also found out a lot of the camera hardware specs of the phone, so we know exactly what we're getting. According to these specs, we're getting a 12.2 megapixel image sensor, so no difference to what we're getting on a lot of other phones like the Pixel 4, the Pixel 3, 3a. The pixel size will be 1.4 microns, which is a pretty decent size, very big pixels. That compares, for example, to the S20 and S20 Plus pixel sizes at 1.8 microns. So definitely there or thereabouts for a mid-range phone, it's pretty good. That will be a Sony IMX363, so the same as they've been using in other phones, and an 8 megapixel image sensor for the selfie camera. That will be an IMX355 from Sony. So when it comes to the images, it just looks like Pixel images. All of these have that really unique Google Pixel type of style. Really good natural looking colors, good dynamic range overall. Also the night mode and the astrophotography modes are just incredible. Really, these are the strengths of any Pixel phone, is photography and night mode. And yep, it's definitely following in the footsteps of all the other Pixel phones. So now we know a lot about the phone. We know exactly what camera hardware it's using in there. We know the processor, and the design has been leaked again and again. I really like the design. I just think for a mid-range phone, it's exactly what you're looking for. A good screen, good modern design, and a big screen too. Well, at least compared to Apple phones, which really is trying to go up against. Very small compared to other Android phones. And we do have a lot of mid-range Android phones coming that are going to be using more modern processors, the upgraded mid-range chipsets from Snapdragon, giving more cameras as well. For example, the OnePlus Z, which should be coming with the upgraded Snapdragon 765, more than one camera at the back. So there's a lot of competition here, but you can't deny it. Those pictures just have something about them. They look amazing, exactly what you'd want from a Pixel. And in your Samsung news, we got some schematics and some designs, thanks to Let's Go Digital, of what the Galaxy Z Flip 2 may look like. They've just released the Galaxy Z Flip, but obviously they're working on some better designs. And it looks like they might be adding some cameras at the back. So these are renders based on some patent drawings and information that was made available. And Let's Go Digital have brought it to life for us. We can see an A and a B. There's two different designs. In the A drawing, the camera is horizontal, and it looks like the OLED screen on the outside is more or less the same size. They may have had to shrink it a bit to include the camera. And then the B sample is when they moved the camera unit to a vertical position, which gives you a lot more space, and it can enable a bigger OLED screen on the outside. These are just renders based off some patents that were awarded to Samsung, so definitely not leaked renders of what the Z Flip is going to be. But we would assume that in future this is going to happen. This is a flagship phone, and so people expect a lot of camera hardware on there, especially an ultra-wide and a main camera, maybe even a zoom as well. And then the OLED screen on the outside should be getting bigger and bigger. It's very small at the moment, and it is just something that you would want very big on the outside, maybe even just a whole one half of the phone just being an outside screen, so you can take selfies much easier with it when it's flipped, and also just doing lots of very simple tasks on that outer screen without having to open the phone. Moving on to LG and the upcoming LG Velvet, which should be coming in a couple of days, and we've got some hands-on images of the device that were leaked online, and I'm in two minds about this phone. So first off, I actually think it looks really, really good on the back. Definitely a premium type of design, a different design, just something different to the almost boring one after the other releases we're getting these days, with just a back and the big camera bump. And this just has some design features to it. It's definitely an interesting design overall. And then you get to the front, and definitely the phone in real life is way different to the renders that we got, which definitely make the top and bottom bezels anyway appear much smaller than they are. It's almost like a half and half phone. You get the curved edges, that OLED display, which just looks absolutely amazing. The back as well and the curves. But then you look at the top and bottom bezels on the front and it's like they took them from a phone from kind of like 2018 or 2019. I guess this is just a mid-range phone, so you get some really amazing stuff and some compromises in some different areas. But it's looking a really good phone and a very tall phone as well. It's got a really tall aspect ratio. So yeah, a modern-ish type of phone. I actually quite like it. Finishing up today with Xiaomi news, and they've been in the news a lot over the weekend after an article came out about Xiaomi possibly tracking user data. Xiaomi have released a lot of statements saying that what the researchers were saying isn't quite true. The researchers have come back and said, actually, you don't aggregate data and that what you're saying isn't true. So there's just two sides to the story. But anyway, Xiaomi have released some updates for their apps today. This update can be downloaded from the Play Store. If you use Xiaomi's browsers, there will now be an option that you can toggle on or off when you're browsing in incognito mode. You can basically turn off data tracking. Well, okay, but I thought if you were in incognito mode, you overtly didn't want anything tracked, especially the URLs that you were going to. That's why you're in incognito mode. The fact that it has to be toggled on now with an update is slightly worrying. But anyway, there's been a lot of back and forth. I don't really have a position on the story, as I just think the easiest way to get around this is just use Google Chrome. Seems to be the safest, best, easiest option all around. That is it for your tech news today. Check out the other channel for lots more content as well, and I'll see you next time.